So we were just chatting about the wild circumstances that are impacting every marketer, every industry, every human, really. And we decided that we would put together this video. And I think hopefully my goal would be like, let's just kind of talk about our own situations, what we're going through, how we're responding to it. And ideally, folks will be able to get some insight from this around how they can navigate. I think that's really the ultimate goal. What's your take?
Yeah, I find that when I'm able to help other people in any way, it makes me feel
Yeah.
better. And I know
Right.
that right now I am under so much stress.
Yeah.
Um, there's so much unknown, right? It's
Yeah.
really
It's true.
hard to know how to navigate things
Mm,
just as a like day to day with my family or friends,
right.
and
Yeah.
that's not even getting to, hey, I run a business, like
Right.
what should I be doing right now, how should I be approaching people, what should I be saying? It's a lot of unknowns.
It's true. It is. I've been going through the same thing. I found it's an interesting time because it's pulling at all avenues, right? Like it's pulling at you from like the heart side where it's like, okay, my family needs me, my family needs support, my friends need support. I need to engage with them. I need to engage with family, etc. And then as an entrepreneur, it's pulling on the brain side where it's like, okay, I have to make tough decisions. I need to be strategic. I need to think long term. I need to not panic. And then as a personal individual, excluding like the fact that you've got people who you're responsible to help take care of, like you've got to also take care of yourself. And you're looking at the markets crashing and you're like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness, what's going on? Like there goes 40% down on this and this and this. And then stocks just continue to tumble. Like there's no question that we're in some ridiculous times. And with all of that, you have to play the game of, okay, how do I proceed with all of this uncertainty? And it's tough. Like it's definitely an interesting time, but I think hopefully we can all come out of it stronger and better because of kind of the stressors, but it's definitely a tough time.
yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot in terms of, as you were saying, there's like the family stuff that needs to be taken care of,
Yeah.
and there's also like the business stuff, and also to take a minute for
Yeah.
myself, to
Right.
like as
Right.
a person, as a human,
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
just like take 10 minutes. I mean, I
Yeah.
personally have a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old at home right
Right.
now, 24 hours. Who knows
Right.
until
Right.
when? I
Yeah.
work from home.
Right.
So no, like, and I need to work, and it's
Yeah.
impossible to find that
Yeah.
balance. My husband
Right.
needs to work, so we're kind of trying to figure
Yeah.
that out. And
Yeah.
it gets to like 10, 11 p.m. and I'm like, did I eat today?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
It's so
what's
true.
going on?
Yeah.
It,
It's wild. Yeah.
yeah.
My intermittent fasting has never been better though, because it's like I don't even get hungry in the morning because I'm going straight through from the time I wake up until like the physical triggers start to activate where it's like, okay, you really do need to eat something. But yeah, I've been in the same boat and I've found it very difficult to unplug more than anything. So like when
Yeah.
it's like at 12 o'clock at night, I should be in bed, but I've been going consistently probably since I'd say the beginning of March, having a sense that things were going to get bad, and now they are bad, just like grinding out until into the evening. So it's been wild. Like there's no question. I have this small break from like 5 until night, and we do that whole process with our little one. But then after that, once in a while, we've been doing a good job, I think, at kind of making sure that we still have our time, me and my wife, to like just like chill out and relax and have some normalcy. But then when she goes to bed, then I'm just back up to the office and getting things done, which is
Yeah.
it's a never ending cycle, it feels like right now, but it's been good. I think
Yeah.
from us, like what have been some of the things that you've put in place right now? Like what is your plan around kind of even the business, like in the coming nights, like recognizing you can't work during the day? Like, are you putting anything in place to kind of streamline? Have you communicated with clients? Are clients just knowing the situation? um,
Yeah.
what's been your approach?
So I've been doing a couple of things. The first thing, I've
Yeah.
been reaching out like actively to clients and just saying like, here's the situation, and mainly inquiring about their situation, trying to understand like what's, how's it affecting them what are they doing? Is there any way that I can help them?
Right.
We're working right now with a super interesting client that actually
Cool.
their target audience is an elderly, like I'd
Oh,
say
wow.
60 to 75 target
Right.
audience.
Right.
So this is a super like I'd say interesting
Yeah.
time to work on that
Yeah.
type of audience. On one hand, you
Right.
want to try and figure out like what's the best experience for them, but then on the other hand, like this is a crazy time. How do you approach that? So
Yeah.
just having
Yeah.
that conversation with clients in each one and trying to figure
Mm.
out like how are you experiencing this? You know, how's it going on in house? What's happening? People
Yeah.
working from home? How are you finding that? So for
Yeah.
me, just being able to have that conversation,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's on the side of clients.
Mm.
In-house in the company, what I've been doing is trying to have just these conversations with people,
Right.
and being really just real about what's
Right.
happening. And like I'm
Yeah.
telling people about what I'm going through, how hard it is, because
Yeah.
I really do believe that when you do that, you're giving
Yeah.
permission to for other people to do the same,
True.
because
Yeah.
we're all going through craziness right now. I went
Yeah.
through tons of stuff in 2019, and now
Yeah.
there's
That's
this. So
fair.
there's like so
Yeah.
much going on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I want people to feel that they can talk
Right.
about it, because it's
Yeah.
important to talk about it.
It is.
And I guess in terms of like with clients and even our own business, like I was just telling you this, Ross, like all these emails I'm getting, I
Yeah.
cringe. Like I'm
Right. Yeah.
cringing from
Right.
all these emails. Like
Yeah.
it's that people are either trying to just like say like, here's what we're doing. And like, I
Yeah.
don't really care.
No. Yeah. It's
or,
true.
or
Yeah.
they're trying to sell to me. And
Right.
that's like, I'm not sure. Like,
No.
this is
Yeah.
me. Like, this is what I do. Like I
Yep.
optimization. I don't know
Right.
if it's the right time to sell or not, because
It's true. Yeah.
the
It's something
economy
that I've
failing,
been
but
thinking about as well. Like one of the approach I've taken, I haven't done any like outreach to new contacts at all. I've been focusing on those who I've already had contact with in the past, and not going in with the hard sell. So I sent an email probably 2 nights ago, and this is kind of where my brain's at. Like we were talking about adding value, and that was kind of my approach. So I found this contact who I had touched base with probably in January of 2020. We haven't really talked. We kind of went cold, and I was like, all right, let me just go through my email, and I saw his name, and I was like, all right, I'm going to write them a note. And I sent them an email, and it just said, hey, I happened to check out your website. I noticed this situation was happening. Your title tags aren't actually optimized to go after any phrases that your audience might be looking for. This is a great title that you could probably replace, because right now you just have your brand name, and this is why these sites are showing up higher than you, because you don't have any reference to like search intent. Showed them some screenshots, told them the volume, etc. Told them to be safe out there. Explained the fact that I was doing this because I'm socially isolating and not doing anything to be out in the wild, so I'm just kind of behind my keyboard. And I sent that over to them, and they were super appreciative of it. And
yeah,
my goal wasn't to like get that person to say, hey, Ross, let's work together tomorrow. It's just so in the back of their mind, they know during a moment of crisis, like Ross didn't come in with the hard sell. Ross added value. If there's an opportunity in the future, like the first person they call might be me, because I was the one who kind of helped them out in a
yeah,
time where they needed it. So that's kind of the approach that I'm taking. It's less about let's kind of sell, and more about let's give value to people who we've been in touch with in the past, or we have some type of connection to.
yeah.
And if you can do that, I think that you can win long term. But I don't think now is the time for cold outreach. Same with
For
backlink
sure.
outreach. Like do you do backlink
Yeah.
outreach right now? Like who wants that, right? Like who
No,
wants to get an email?
I don't know. I mean, I have to admit, I haven't been doing any outreach, but I really
Yeah.
feel like it's me. I just feel like I'm trying to give it some space and figure out what's going
Yeah.
on. I'm diving into other stuff. So
Mm,
I've been going back, like tracing things and saying like, okay, what are the things that we've done so far, like until March
yeah.
2020, Q1,
Yeah.
what have we done? What can I repurpose? What can I republish? What can I change? What can I
Right.
optimize? I'm going
Right.
back to past clients of ours and just reaching
Yeah.
out and just touching base and seeing like how things are going with them and if there's anything I can help them with.
Yeah.
And mainly just kind of organizing things and also
Mm,
kind of just touching base with people to
right.
see what's going on.
Yeah,
And
that's a good call.
I've also actually taken, I read something that Pep Laya wrote about,
Okay.
which he was saying that this would be a good time to learn something new. And I love that.
Right.
The whole idea
Yeah.
of, it doesn't have to be something to do with business, but if we're talking about business,
Right.
then, learning a new skill,
Right.
or even just kind of catching up on all those books that you always say you want to read.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I have like
Right.
a ton of books back here that I'm like, I
Nice.
want to read them. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. And I feel like it
Good.
will ultimately optimize the stuff that
Right.
I'm doing for my clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
That's a
kind of the
good call.
stuff.
Smart. That makes sense. I think, yeah, like one of the biggest things that I've been talking about on social media, and I think it's important for people to keep in mind, is like, if we're going to be quarantined for a while, like this isn't the time to just constantly be on your channels, refreshing them to see what more bad news is happening in the market, what bad news is happening locally or internationally, etc. That's going to put you in a very bad mental space really quickly. Like, I think the best thing that anyone can do in these times is like, let's focus on ourselves. Let's focus on like doing things that the future you will be grateful for once all of this chaos is behind us. So come 2022, I'm thinking very far out, but if we go to 2022, like what things can you do today that the person that you are then will be like, wow, if I didn't use that time to read these books, if I didn't use this time to learn a new skill, if I didn't use this time to start doing a push-up challenge, whatever it may be, like you want to
Yeah,
do things that are going to be helpful for you in the future rather than just like hitting refresh, chugging a bunch of
for
wine,
sure.
eating a bag of Cheetos, etc. Like, let's focus.
Netflix.
I love my cheesies. I do have a bag of cheesies downstairs, but like, yeah, we do have to focus on doing
But
those things
yeah,
that are
I
going to
mean,
help us.
even thinking about the business, because at the end of the
Yeah,
day, as we say, like the economy has to keep going. There's the things that are going to be the foundation when we do ultimately
right.
start going back to normal, and
Yeah.
even taking the time, which I think as an entrepreneur, I don't know about you, Russ, but I like chug on, like you're just
Yeah.
doing and doing and
Yeah.
doing, like you're just putting in tasks, and then when it
Yeah.
gets to planning and like looking into the
Right.
future and strategizing, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, another time, like I don't have time, I
Exactly.
need to make
Yeah.
money, and you're like
So
just
true.
running.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So now is actually the time where you like can take
Step
a
back.
sec
Yeah.
to strategize and to think about
Yeah.
like, okay, what have I done? Analyze
Mm,
things, what worked, what hasn't worked, what should I be
right.
doing next?
Right.
Like I just had a call with Sophia, who's our conversion copywriter, and we were
Oh,
talking
cool.
about, okay, we had this entire plan for 2020, but
Right.
it seemed like we're going to change a bunch of things. So what should we change?
Right.
Let's review
Yeah.
all this stuff. What makes sense? What
Mm,
doesn't make sense? And I think it's a good thing because I can't really do the
yeah.
stuff that I'm used to usually,
Right.
not
Yeah.
physically or mentally right now. And I
Right.
love what you're saying, like just don't watch the news all day or the notifications and the pings and the dongs and
Right.
all that. It's just
Right.
too much.
Yeah. So
Um,
much. Yeah.
so yeah, strategizing and analyzing the stuff that you're doing. Ross, you also have a super, super cool framework for republishing content.
Oh, yes. Thank
So
you.
right. So, I mean, even if you guys
Yeah.
go back to your biggest pieces, go into Google Analytics,
Yeah.
find the top 3 articles that you've written this year, turn them into a video,
Yep.
just turn them into a podcast or send out an
True.
email about them or publish them on Medium
Yeah.
or do a
Right.
tweet like a storm and like
Exactly. A
something
tweet
like
storm.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be
100%.
cool.
Yeah.
So I
I
think
think
it's the
you're
little
right. Like, this
things.
is a good time to experiment with different techniques, right? Like, you, on one end, still have to be empathetic to recognizing that certain types of messages aren't going to resonate with people right now. But once you start with that and you have the empathy to understand, okay, what type of story, what type of tone will actually work, then I think there is an opportunity to start repurposing existing assets and then reusing them in different ways. In addition, like, I think, like you were mentioning about now being the time to learn, if the reason why you've never done those things is because you've never actually spent the time to learn how to turn a blog post into an infographic or turn a blog post into a podcast video, like now is the time to get the skills that, again, in 2022 you will be very grateful for achieving and establishing for yourself. So it could be as simple as learning how to put transcriptions on the bottom of a YouTube video, right? Like, if you can figure
Yeah.
that out, that can be huge for yourself long term. So I think 100% there's a ton of opportunities out there for people, if you're willing to kind of put in the time to be more productive rather than kind of just hitting refresh over and over again.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, most important thing is to, I think we said this up front, is to take some time for yourself,
Yeah.
to log off,
Yeah.
to take 5-10 minutes. I use Headspace for that,
Cool.
cool app for that, where you can just like take 10 to 15 minutes a day to
Yeah.
just breathe. Maybe you're not the type of person that does it. I can tell you that I'm not the type of person. Like, I'm the CrossFit, go, go, go kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
person. But
Yeah.
Headspace has helped me a ton
That's awesome.
to deal with this situation. So the most important thing is to look after yourself, like work
Right.
out at home, eat healthy, spend the
No
time
doubt.
with the people that you love, even if it's in the closed space and you're
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I love that. I used to use Headspace as well. I got off of it because I started to go to an actual like yoga studio, but now I think desperate times calls for desperate measures. So I might be downloading that app again. And I did
yeah,
love it when I was using it. So great reco there.
cool. Well, wherever you are, guys, I hope that you are keeping safe, looking after yourself, that you and yours are all well, and that hopefully this passes by super quick and everyone stays healthy.
Yeah, stay safe out there, folks. And if there's ever anything that we can do, feel free to hit us up on Twitter. I'm sure we'll be happy to answer any questions or anything like that. So stay safe and be healthy, and remember to self isolate from others.